Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Simon and today I'm back to have a chat with you about all things summer. So summer reads that I want to get to, a few more summer recommendations for you lovely lot, my summer plans with reading and the channel and all that kind of stuff, and maybe a little bit of travel in general or summer in general, summer plans in general. Anyway, and also I'm going to be having a chat with you about taking a summer BookTube break. I guess that would link in with plans, wouldn't it? Anyway, that is the plan. I feel like I've said plans too many times, but it's going to be all about all things summer. I know there's been a lot of summer book recommendations videos recently and stuff. I've been loving seeing what people are recommending, but yeah, I thought I would sort of more tell you what my plans are rather than what my reading is going to be-ish, because I'm still a bit vague because I do want a summer of whim really, but I'm getting ahead of myself because the thing that I also want to mention is if you know what this t-shirt is from, then you and I are now best mates. And it does have a link to my summer reading. Honestly, you can tell it's British summer because everyone's flying away off on holidays. There's people outside drilling, mowing, all sorts. And the sun's actually come out briefly as well, which is quite nice of it. I'm hoping for more of it. What was I talking about? Yes, where's this t-shirt from? And if you know, like I said, you are now one of my best friends on the internet, as it is from Challenges, and indeed is worn by two of the characters, I think. And that does link in to my summer reading because it's the first of two requests that I'm going to make of you in this video. One will be quite a bit later, but also does sort of link to Challenges. But before I get ahead of myself once again, I saw Challenges not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times in the cinema. I absolutely loved it.
How often does this happen?
That never ever happens. It just had an absolute chokehold on me and just, yeah, it just got me, frankly.
Decimate that little bitch.
And I would love, if any of you have seen Challenges, for you to recommend me books that have a Challenger vibe. Doesn't mean they have to be about tennis, but they can just be about really tricky, odd relationships, power dynamics, sexual tensions, all those kind of things that are in Challenges. I would love. I have read Carrie Soto is Back, so that's a tennis book that I've already got ticked off. Do you remember seeing somewhere on Instagram recently somebody comparing a book to Challenges? I was like, oh, I must make a note of it, and then it promptly disappeared because that's what social media is like. Anyway, that's just a little thing to say. I love that film. I've already downloaded it so I can watch it quite a few times more over summer. I don't even really know what it is about that film that got me so much. I just love it. The acting, first of all, Zendaya's amazing, but then the soundtrack, everything. Anyway, so that's what I'd like from some of my summer reading, which again, we'll come back to later on. I don't quite know what order to do this in. I'm going to say one thing that I have talked about briefly on the channel already is that I am planning on having a summer of Stout, and I have 4 of Elizabeth Stout's books here that I have yet to read, and that is because Tell Me Everything is coming out in September, and I have loved all of the Lucy Barton books that I've read. This is the next one, but also features previous characters who did appear slightly in Lucy by the Sea, but have appeared in books previously and I really want to get to. So one of those characters is Olive Kitteridge, and I have still not read this. I also really want to watch the series with Frances McDormand, who is an amazing actress. There's also the Burgess boys, and I think maybe one other, maybe 2. Oh, there's Olive again, isn't there? But also I'm thinking maybe I want to read Amy and Isabel, which was her first novel, and her second novel, Abide With Me, and just really go for it and have like a proper summer of Stout. Maybe read these 2 that aren't necessarily in the world of the others in July, so this month, because I need to read the others then in August before I head to this in September. I don't actually have the Burgess boys or the other Olive book, but I will be getting them because I'll be in London tomorrow as this goes live, which I'm very excited about, and we'll be popping to Foyles. I'm also excited because tomorrow I've got a couple of very exciting meetings, one of which is the judges meeting for a prize that I've been judging secretly. Shh, don't tell anyone. I've literally got half of one of the books left to read, and then I'm done, and then as of tomorrow I can read by whim, which nicely links into my main summer reading plan. I really want to have a summer of reading by whim. Now, I do get slightly scared about whim reading because I do have quite a lot of options. However, the library will finally be being packed up next week, and so I need to make myself quite a small TBR that I can shop from. And so I've been thinking, oh, are there any particular authors that I really want to read, or are there any books with particular sort of vibes or themes that I really want to read? And I'm going to come to vibes and themes a little bit later, because first of all, I thought I'd tell you about some books by authors I love that I really, really want to get to. The first of those that's going to stay on the shelves when they're all packed away while the library gets a makeover, etc., is There Are Rivers in the Sky by Alicia Fack. This is one of my most anticipated books of the entire year. I absolutely adore Alicia Fack and I love her writing. I've loved every book of hers that I've read, and this is one of, as I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself already, my most anticipated books of 2024. And I'm sick and tired of waiting for a rainy day. I mean, I'm hoping there's not too many of those over the summer, but there probably will be because I am in England. I just don't want to do that anymore. If a favourite author of mine has a book out, I want to really start just getting to it and not faffing around and dilly-dallying with my silly shenanigans. This is one I'm super keen to get to, and I'll be really shocked if I have not read that by the end of summer, if not, well, sooner. Then we have The Burial Plot by Elizabeth McNeil, and I have read both of Elizabeth's previous books, absolutely loved them. This is all about Victorian cemeteries, which again, something I'm quite passionate about. I used to be a tour guide at Highgate Cemetery. Maybe I'll do a trip to Highgate this summer. That'd be lovely. Maybe I'll get Elizabeth to come join me. Can't believe I've not got to this yet. I've had it for ages and I'm even acknowledged in this one, so I have been a very, very naughty what's it. And actually, speaking of acknowledgements, I've heard in the edition that has the acknowledgements in it, I've got an acknowledgement in Babylonia, which is Costanza Casati's second novel following Clytemnestra. Well, not following Clytemnestra, it's a different period in history completely, but her debut was Clytemnestra, and I absolutely love that. And so I want to get to authors who I've read before and loved, and this is my second either of their novels, as in it's their second novel, or in the case of Passion Tide by Monique Rofi, it'll be the second of their books that I read. Very excited for this. Really loved The Mermaid of Black Conch. I was on the judging panel of the overall Costas the year that won. It was our winner, and so really keen to see what she's followed it up with. I also have her backlist on the shelves. Maybe I'll leave them on the shelves because it would be nice to head to some more backlist books. And I went out of order there as well because this is another book that I'm very excited to read by an author that I absolutely love, and that's The Glassmaker by Tracy Chevalier. This is the proof edition and takes us to Venice. I'm not sure when, 1486, but I'm not going abroad anywhere this summer. Maybe in September, we'll see. I'm really looking forward to escaping to Venice with Tracy, just like I am the Caribbean with Passion Tide. On the subject of summer sort of life plans, I'm going to be doing a little bit of travel. I'm off to my favourite place in North Wales this coming weekend, to Rhugylch, which is where On the Red Hill by Mike Parker, a book that I absolutely adore, is set. And we'll be seeing Mike and Preds and Floss the dog, and I think even doing a little bit of floss sitting, which I'm very excited about. That's going to be straight away after London, so that's going to be really, really lovely. And then not next week, although I am having a holiday from home next week, the week after I'm going to be in Dublin and Belfast, which will be really, really nice, seeing some lovely folk over there, some whom you may recognise off Instagram. But yeah, I shall be probably keeping a document and making content while I'm doing that. But on that note, the big plan for the summer is a big break. I'm going to be having a break from my day job for a good couple of weeks, a break from author events until actually mid-August, which I'm really, really excited for my next event, which will be with Anton Herr in Foyles in London, August 15th. Do come along if you can. It'd be lovely to see you there. Really, really lovely. I think we're going to have a hoot. He's just been announced as one of the International Booker Prize judges, which is very exciting. So that'll be really, really good. Also really keen to just have a breather from that, because I do love doing it, but it is quite exhausting, actually, quite exhaustibating. I'm trying to have a bit of a BookTube break as well. And my plan currently is that this will be the last video on this channel until August, probably at the earliest. I'm not giving myself a definite date. I want to just see how I feel, and I will Strobly? I don't even know what that is. I will probably still be recording bits and bobs, because over on Patreon I will still be creating content. I'm going to be doing a weekly vlog over there just so that I get back into the swing. But I guess that does link into the fact that the reason I also want a bit of a break is because I feel like I need to just have a break from it all so I can decide how I want to take things forward, because I definitely don't want to stop, but I also think it's really good every so often to stop. So that's why I'm going to stop, but only for a bit. I'll also be filming as the library gets packed up, as I cull books, all that kind of stuff for content that will come out later this year, because I want to have a bit more time editing and stuff and have more fun with that, because it is something that I really quite enjoy. I don't like watching myself talking, but I do like taking the piss out of myself or adding in daft things here and there. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm trying to leave things as open as possible, basically, because as I read by whim, I'd quite like there to also be a little bit of a whim in what I'm getting up to. That's sort of my plan. So yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll see what happens. Now, before I go on to, I guess I would describe those favourite authors and Elizabeth Stout as my sort of safe summer reads, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to love every single Elizabeth Stout because I've enjoyed her so far. And I also feel like all the authors that I've read a book or several books of before that I'm really keen to get to, I'm going to really love those too. So I want to also take a few risks, which I'll come to in a little bit. But before that, I thought I'd mention 3 books that are probably my favourite summer books ever. I have done a video recently, which I'll link down below, with 5 fab recent reads that would actually also be 5 books perfect for summer. Go and check that out if you haven't. But these 3, one was one of my favourite books of last year, and this gives summer Gothic. It almost sort of gives Rebecca vibes-ish, but sort of not. And I almost regret saying that now, because if I've compared a book to Rebecca, then that's quite a thing to compare it to. And I also really hate when people compare books to Rebecca when they recommend them to me, because I'm like, yeah, but that's my favourite book, and I don't want to, I don't know. It's a lot of pressure, isn't it? Let's be honest. Anyway, this is Serious Blooms at Night by Shani Mutu. This is a book that has this sort of shimmering heat of summer, but when it's on the cusp of autumn, I guess. I can't wait for autumn. It's my favourite. Love a bit of autumn. Wish I could live in perpetual autumn, but it's summer. Let's get back to the summer selections. This it's got that shimmering summer heat. It's a book that has a real mystery at its heart. It's also a book that really looks at sexuality and gender. I think this book was like way ahead of its time. It came out in the 1990s, I think. Instead of being about like the floral beauty of summer, this is more about like the rotting nature underneath and the decay that's hidden, and but yet it is still very hot and heated, and there are characters in here that you just will not forget. I don't want to give too much more away, because like I said, it's about a mystery, and yeah, they're all characters you'll also really, really, really fall in love with. I talked about this a lot last year, probably more articulately. I think that's all it does. I'm tired, guys. I need a break. This is another reason that I need a break. My brain is fried. Really, really recommend this. Absolute heated Gothic. Not heated, that sounds weird. It seems like you've turned all the radiators on. Just a real summer Gothic. I should have just left it at that. I should have literally done an elevator pitch that was really, really short and to the point. Then we have one of my all-time favourite classics, and this book is a little summer gem. It's a book which is, I guess, more vibes overall than plot, but definitely makes me think of summer, and also was a book that when it was first put into my hands, actually by my gran, who sadly is no longer with us and who would have been on this channel all the time if she was. In fact, she would probably have started a channel not long after me and before mum. But anyway, I didn't think I was going to enjoy this, but I absolutely got lost in it. I think it's an absolutely stunning book. It is a near perfect gem. I don't believe in such a thing as a perfect book, and I don't even want to find a perfect book, because if you find a perfect book, it's just downhill from there, frankly. What is this near perfect book? It's J.L. Carr's A Month in the Country, and this is about a man called Tom who he's he's a survivor of World War One, and he's very damaged. He's going through quite a lot of mental health issues post the war. I mean, you would if you survived it. There's survivor's guilt. There's also the fact that, you know, there's the impact of what he's been through and what it's done to his body and his mind. And he goes to help work at this church in this small village. And I don't want to say any more than that, but it will surprise you, even though, like I said, it's not all about the plot in this book. It's very much about the feeling of it. And I just remember feeling so much love for this book and so emotional when I got to the end for all sorts of reasons. And I think it is a true wonder. And it was one of my grand's favourite books. I think, yeah, this is her copy because it's got her signature in it. To have this from her shelves is also quite emotional. Then we have one of my favourite books of all time, which actually did get compared to Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, along with Sarah Watson. I remember seeing that Rebecca comparison thinking, oh really, let's see, and absolutely falling in love with it. This is Catherine Hall's The Proof of Love. It takes place in the Lake District over the heat wave in the summer of 1976, when the UK had this massive heat wave, like anything I've seen since. And it's about a man called Matthew who is, he's left his university to go and be in the lakes. He's an outsider and people are unsure why he's there. As the book goes on, secrets get revealed about him, about other people in the village. There's quite a lot of going behind people's neck curtains and finding out what's going on. It's absolutely wonderful. And as the heat wave intensifies, so does the book. And yeah, I just think this is a phenomenal book and love it to bits. So we have that. Now, going back to challenges and Zendaya. I want to head to some unsafe books, and I'm calling this sort of vibe or theme, and I did really love what Nathan used to do over at Nathan's Nook, where he would describe like a season or planning a season of reading as like certain feelings and vibes and themes. And I also used to really love, I was talking about this with Mum the other day, when CJ Reads used to do her wrap-ups, and after she talked about the book a bit, she would kind of describe what they might be like it could be that they were like walking on broken glass, or they were like the smell of smoky whiskey, or all that. And so I was trying to think of themes and vibes, but I'm not as clever as Nathan or CJ, or what's the word? Maybe I'm not as descriptive, whatever. So I came up with the safe summer reads and then the uns of summer. So by that I mean I have been looking for books that are unflinching, unhinged, unravelling,
Decimate that little bitch.
unexpected, and overall unadulterated in all of those ways. If you know books that hit those, let me know in the comments below. But I'll give you 4 examples, and these might be all of those uns or might just cover a few. So the first one that I actually only bought just the other day, I think I was sent the proof of this, but I remember the cover being a bit like, it had a shark on it, and I love sharks. I swum with them. It was quite sort of floral, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on. And then I saw this cover and I was like, ooh, that's caught my eye, and then read the blurb, which I'm not often want to do. And the blurb simply said, for Lewis and Wren, their first year of marriage will be their last. A few weeks after their wedding, Lewis receives a rare diagnosis. He will retain most of his consciousness, memories, and intellect, but his physical body will gradually transform into a great white shark. That to me was unexpected.
Decimate that little bitch.
That to me, like, hooked me. Sorry, the book is Shark Heart by Emily Habbock, and I am so excited for this. This is a book that, frankly, if I hadn't been reading for a prize, I would have wanted to come home and start reading, and that's something else I would like to do. I don't know if it's going to be during the rest of July, but maybe in August I might try to read whatever I buy. I'm thinking more particularly August because I don't think I'm going anywhere with loads of bookshops, whereas in July with Dublin could be some damage done there. Anyway, yeah, I'm really intrigued for this, and I think this does sound like it could be a bit unhinged. I think it's going to be quite unflinching in the way that it looks at grief, I think it's going to be Unexpected in the Whole Thing Around the Shark, which I'm just thrilled about. And what was one of the other uns? I don't think it... Well, I think maybe we will unravel with Lewis and Wren as they go through this. So this actually could be hitting all of those sweet spots. Unflinching, did I mention? I think I did. A book that I think is going to be unflinching in terms of how sexy it is. And I am here for a sexy summer. Let's not pretend otherwise. But also, I think it's going to give me real insight into a part of the world that I don't know enough about. And I think that is something that fiction, probably for me more than non-fiction, although I do have a non-fiction book here. Please don't faint, because I know I don't read that much. I did, weirdly, before the Panda Pop, and then I was so addicted to the news, which was cyclical and terrifying and actually sometimes needed to be stopped. But I was so intense, I guess, in watching the news. I didn't want to read about the real world. I wanted to escape. Anyway, sometimes with fiction, we can escape into the safety of fiction whilst experiencing another world. And I think this is going to do that, but also have a lot of sexy summer shenanigans going on, or a lot of sexy shenanigans perfect for summer going on. What's the book, Simon? Stop being such a book tease. It is Salam by Khalid Al-Esmail, and this is translated from Arabic by Larry Prince, and it's a homoerotic story from Syria. And that's all I needed to know to be really intrigued. I have to also say, I do think this is the sexiest book cover of 2024. I mean, that is, and I've said it on this channel before, and I'm about to say it again, whoa, is what I think of that cover. I'm really, really, really keen to get to this one very, 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 very soon. Very soon. Next week. I think this is going to be unflinching. I think maybe there will be a bit of unravelling emotionally, possibly. I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be unhinged, but I think it'll be unadulterated for sure. So yeah, that's going to be a good one. Then a book that I do think is going to be pretty unhinged and has been described as bonkers. I love that word. I just really, really love the word bonkers, and I think I'm ready for a bit of bonkers in the summer. Ready for a bit of bonking and a bit of bonkers with The Coin by Yasmin Zahir. And this, I believe, is about a Palestinian woman who, well, I think she tries to create an alternate her, but as she's doing it, just completely and utterly unravels. And I think she moves to New York and thinks it's going to be a place of freedom, but instead it stifles her. I've just heard bonkers, unhinged. I think it's going to be pretty unfiltered and unflinching, and I am ready for it. Plus, I want to read a lot more Palestinian authors. Last but not least, my non-fiction pick. And this I was going to say for the whole of the summer. I am hoping that I'll head to other non-fiction books. And I should say that, like, I am going to read these three, but also want to read lots of other books that are, I'm going to go through them again, unhinged, unravelling, unfiltered / unflinching, unapologetic. Was that another one that I came up with? There were so many uns. There were so many good words. This one, I think, is going to be actually unapologetic is the essence of this, I would imagine, and that is Sociopath, a memoir by Patrick Gagney. And I've just heard such interesting things from people who've read this, both people who've enjoyed it and people who haven't as much, about this. And this is Patrick writing about what her life is like as someone who is a diagnosed sociopath. And I'm going to be really intrigued to see this unapologetic book that really sort of opens your eyes to, you know, the term sociopath automatically creates certain thoughts in our heads. I want this to sort of really make me rethink that, and I think as well I'm going to find it unputdownable. I see there's another unword. There you go. What can you do? I'm really, really excited for this, and I would like to head to other non-fiction books, but that's the one that's kind of top of the pops or top of the pile for me this summer. There will be more. I can actually see right now Monsters by Claire Devereux just out the corner of my eye, and that's another one that I'd really, really like to head to. So there we go. Those are my summer reading plans in terms of my safe summer reads and my summer of Stout. And well, my summer of Stout, my safe summer reads with some favourite previously read authors, and then the summer of the uns, unadulterated, and that's the last one, unhinged, unravelling, unflinching / unfiltered, unapologetic, I think that was the other one, and then overall unadulterated, unexpected. If you've got any books that fall under those categories or are like challenges, because as I told you, I loved it, then please let me know those in the comments down below. And yeah, as I said, this is going to be the last video on this channel for a while. I will, however, still be making content over on Patreon. So if you want to come and join me over there, you can.
You're not a member of my fan club?
And videos on there will probably also include actually my spring reading wrap-ups part 1 and 2, as well as vlogs and other bits and bobs, because I think when I come back, I would like to come back with my books of the year so far, and then sort of park or move on from the first half of 2024, because yeah, it's been a bit of a time. I have got back into the sort of travelling a little bit too much and having a little bit too much going on and losing control of balance and boundaries and all those things. So that's, yeah, a good time for me to stop, take stock, have a break from everything apart from Patreon, because I'm going to miss the ad revenue on here, let's not lie. But also my Instagram, I'll still be doing stuff on there. I'm planning on trying to do a post every day over the summer to get back in the swing of it. It'll be books, it'll be cats, it'll be bits of travel here, there and everywhere. I'm even going to try and make a few reels and stuff and have fun with that, because yeah, I want to get back to Instagram being fun. I sort of feel like it became an obligation for a while. That's not everything about YouTube, I just haven't need a break. Anyway, I'm over explaining, as is my want, but I hope you're all doing super duper well. I hope you're reading something good. Please do recommend me all those books, and let me know if you've got any favourite authors that you're going to head to over the summer, or any summer reading plans, or just summer plans you've got in general. That would be lovely, because I will still be looking at the comments. And yeah, I will see you all in a month or so. I'm going to miss you lot, I think, quite a bit. But yeah, I'll see you when I see you. Bye.